The Black Hills loses a pair of longtime lawmakers. We'll have the details. What effect would Medicaid work requirements have on people here in South Dakota? And contractor fraud is on the rise in Meade County. Your news starts now.
From Skyline Drive, this is KOTA Territory News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Jack Cottle. The Meade County Sheriff's Office is warning homeowners about a rise in contractor fraud. KOTA Territory's Blake Trolley has the story.
The Sheriff's Office is urging homeowners to check references, get a detailed contract, and avoid paying for jobs in full.
This is something that we need to get the public educated on.
Meade County Deputy Sheriff Christopher Williams says his office recently opened 5 investigations into contractors stealing money from homeowners looking to make improvements. Some of the homeowners paid in full while others made deposits, only to see no actual work done to their homes.
It's affected them greatly. You're talking in these 5 cases, we're well over $100,000 in theft.
The Sheriff's Office is currently looking into 4 different contractors from both Meade County and Pennington County. The contractors were hired for jobs including siding, windows, and roofing.
I think a lot of them might be getting in over their heads, and then when they realize that they've booked either too many jobs or they're not able to pay their subcontractors, they're utilizing these other monies from these other victims.
Those contractors can now face grand theft charges.
They're financially and criminally responsible for the contract or the agreement that they made with this person, and by being hired to do something like this and not fulfilling your side of it, that's theft. You're stealing from these people.
One thing to repoint out is the Sheriff's Office urging people not to pay for jobs in full. The office says no reputable contractor will ask you to do so. Back to you.
We dealt with the storms last night, but do we have more to contend with this evening? Meteorologist Ryan Larmew is in the First Alert Weather Center with more. So do we have more of the same on the way today?
Well, technically we do have a severe weather risk today, but I'm not buying all that's being sold to me by the Storm Prediction Center. But we do have some storms on radar right outside of KOTA territory. So if you're in places like Martin, you're likely seeing those storm clouds off towards your south and your east. But we're also seeing a few storms move in from Montana. Places like Ekalaka, Alzada could be seeing some of these thunderstorms over the course of the next hour or two. We're going to keep tracking these storms as they head into KOTA territory. A more potent environment for those storms to strengthen over the next couple of hours. Our Going West weather cam on our tower cam on Skyline Drive showing the smoky skies still remain like they have for much of the week. The smoke just seems to not be able to clear. Temperatures across the area ranging from the upper 50s to the low 80s, depending on where you are. The coolest air up near the North Dakota border in parts of southeast Montana and northern South Dakota. But as we head throughout the rest of the evening, a few thunderstorms may make their way towards the Black Hills and Rapid City. After sunset, I'll be planning out when we can expect even more storms coming up.
Thank you, Ryan. The Black Hills is mourning the passing of 2 longtime local legislators. Lindell Peterson passed away Tuesday at the age of 93. Peterson served in the South Dakota State Senate from 1977 to 1994. He was a Pennington County Commissioner from 2011 to 2016. Peterson was inducted into the South Dakota Hall of Fame in 2019. In addition, he served the Central States Fair in some capacity for decades and was instrumental in the Western Junior Livestock Show and the South Dakota Buckaroos. And former South Dakota State Senator Mac McCracken passed away last Friday at the age of 83. McCracken served in the state Senate from 2001 through 2008. He also gave his time to many community and civic organizations over the years. The Department of Social Services is making progress toward implementing work requirements for expanded Medicaid, which South Dakotans voted for in last November's election. KOTA Territory's Grant Green has more on the requirements that will be expected for people to stay on the program.
Roughly 2,000 South Dakotans would be taken off Medicaid under the proposed work requirements, but it's all very dependent on what happens at the federal level.
The Department of Social Services is close to wrapping up its public comment phase for their work requirement proposal process. The entire schedule is predicated on what is passed in Trump's Big Beautiful Bill. But in the meantime, all input, whether submitted online or testified in person, will be a part of the state's application.
The input that we get both online and from forums like the one that we had today and previously are really valuable. So we'll review each of the comments and figure out whether there are places in the application that it might make sense for us to adjust.
Barring exceptions, social services expects roughly 2,000 individuals in the state to miss out on expanded Medicaid if the work requirement initiative, known as SD Career Link, is approved by the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services. One attendee of Thursday's public comment session says she has concerns of what will happen to those who are taken off the program.
We can't share our health care. We can't share our prescriptions, our cancer treatments, our surgeries, our visits with the rheumatologist or whatever. So it's fundamental difference. If you lose your health care, it's entirely different from the work requirement for other programs.
As it stands, the department would recognize an individual that has met any of the following work requirements: if they are employed, enrolled in job training, meet the requirements of another work program such as SNAP or TANF, are a parent or a caretaker of a child, elderly, or disabled individual.
The work requirement application will be submitted to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services sometime in either July or August of this year. In Sioux Falls, Grant Green, KOTA Territory News.
Sitting in a car with no AC on during the summer months is never a great idea. That's why the Pennington County Sheriff's Office wants to remind the public about the dangers of leaving your pets and children in the car unattended. It's recommended that the child is never left alone in a hot car, even for a minute or with the windows cracked. About 40 children die from heat stroke every year. In addition, temperatures in a car can reach deadly levels in a short period of time. According to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, leaving a pet alone in a vehicle can lead them to showing symptoms of overheating, including drooling, difficulty breathing, collapse, and vomiting.
Put something in the back seat, so you always check your back seat before you get out of your vehicle. A lot of these cases, like I say, they're seen on a national level where unfortunately a child dies from vehicular heat stroke, and we just want to avoid that unnecessary tragedy.
If anyone sees a child or pet left alone in a shut-off vehicle, they can call 911 or the Pennington County Sheriff Patrol Dispatch at 605-394-2151. Each week we highlight an area nonprofit in our KOTA Cares. We'll check out the work of Catholic Social Services after the break. You're watching KOTA Territory News at 5:30. In this week's KOTA Cares, we're highlighting Catholic Social Services of Rapid City, a dedicated nonprofit that promotes individual human dignity and strengthens families through professional social services for people of all faiths in western South Dakota. Our Jasmine Davis has the story.
Catholic Social Services of Rapid City offer a range of services and resources, including counseling, educational workshops, disaster relief services, and more for those in need. One of their services, the Uplifting Parents Program, has been helping single parents since 2014 by providing mentoring and assisting with financial resources for a college education. The Director of Communication and Development at Catholic Social Services of Rapid City highlights the Uplifting Parents Program's success and the recognition it earned for its community impact.
The Lab for Economic Opportunity from Notre Dame has studied this program to discover why it's functioning, why it's working, how it's impacting our community. The program has produced over 50 RNs. It's impacted 530 children. So we're making impact that way.
With nonprofits facing cuts, Catholic Social Services of Rapid City Executive Director Dr. Grant Sass explains how they have adapted continuing programs despite tighter funding.
We've been blessed really to have continuity within our programs and to be able to continue to offer the services that we do here. There has been a shifting landscape, obviously, in the funding of nonprofits. And due to that, the funds really have seemed to be a little bit more competitive. So we're always continually looking to identify needs in the community by serving the most vulnerable and needy.
To get involved with Catholic Social Services of Rapid City and their mission to communities in western South Dakota, you can visit our website at kotatv.com. In Rapid City, Jasmine Davis, KOTA Territory News.
Catholic Social Services of Rapid City is launching St. Anne's Aging Services this fall to help seniors who need extra support at home. In exchange for reduced rent, renters can offer help with daily tasks and companionship, giving seniors both stability and connection. Meteorologist Ryan Larmew says severe storms remain possible across KOTA Territory, not only tonight, but tomorrow as well. He has all the details in your accurate First Alert forecast right after the break.
Now, the First Alert forecast with meteorologist Ryan Larmew.
This caught me off surprise when I walked into work today. There is a level 1 out of 5 severe risk for today as some thunderstorms do push through the area. I'm thinking these thunderstorms mainly stay to the south where the slight risk, that's a level 2 out of 5 is. It does clip part of Bennett County near Martin, so we could be seeing some of those stronger storms down near the Nebraskan border. But as we head throughout the rest of the evening, these thunderstorms that are in parts of Montana, these are going to be moving into Dakota territory, and this one right here has a severe thunderstorm warning associated with it. That will eventually move into portions of Carter County and then eventually into Wyoming and South Dakota. So we have some convection popping up on radar. Nothing going on at this current moment in portions of Dakota territory, but through the rest of the evening, Rapid City, we could be seeing temperatures dropping into the 60s after sunset, and then a few thunderstorms may finally make it to the Black Hills region by around 10 o'clock tonight. So we still got a while to go before we have the threat of any thunderstorms, but through the rest of the night, we have the isolated storms around the area. 57 degrees for a low temperature and then fog. That is our main concern for tonight. Some dense fog possibly forming on the South Dakota plains and the foothills and in northeast Wyoming throughout the overnight hours. Could be seeing those dense fog advisories being issued over the next few hours. As we head throughout the day tomorrow, temperatures warm up into the upper 70s, 79 degrees for a high. A few spots do make it into the 80s. We'll deal with the fog for a majority of the morning, and then by the afternoon, we're mostly sunny to partly sunny out there with thunderstorms bubbling up once again. And tomorrow, that's when our real severe threat starts to kick in as we have a level 2 out of 5 risk. This yellow color, that's a slight risk for Sheridan, Gillette, Wright, Sundance, Hewlett, Upton, Newcastle, much of the Black Hills, including places like Lee Deadwood, just in Spearfish. You're just right on the edge along with Rapid City. We're also seeing Custer, Hot Springs, Edgemont, all included in this slight risk for tomorrow. Main threats are going to be damaging winds and some larger hail associated with some of those thunderstorms. As we head throughout the rest of the night, we can see those few isolated thunderstorms overnight, but tomorrow afternoon, thunderstorms start to bubble up in Wyoming and push into Dakota territory by the evening. They'll bubble up around 3 o'clock, finally push into South Dakota by around 6, and by the time we're getting to Saturday morning, we're still dealing with a little bit of the cloud coverage from those storms, but by the afternoon, more storms fire up. Yep, you heard me right. More storms, and we have that in the forecast even beyond your Saturday as we have those storms move through Saturday. Sunday starting off sunny, but by the afternoon and evening, we're going to see those storms fire back up again. For Saturday, there's a level 1 out of 5 risk for almost every single location in Dakota territory. This is our biggest severe risk of the season so far. So if you're keeping track of that, something to look forward to if you like the storms. Temperatures tonight are going to be in the 50s for a majority of the area. Isolated storms move through, and then the dense fog starts to take shape at around 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning. Winds are going to be fairly light, supportive of that fog, but by tomorrow, temperatures in the 70s and 80s across much of the area. A few spots in northern South Dakota on the South Dakota plains staying in the 60s. The morning fog will be out of here by around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and by the afternoon, some storms start to fire up. Rain chances and thunderstorm chances continue through the weekend for everyone. But good news is if you do have plans this weekend for Father's Day, it'll be warm throughout much of the day, and these storms should fire up near dinner time. So just make sure you're indoors by the time the thunder roars.
Now, we have not been getting a lot of fog around here as a rule.
No, we haven't, and the rule doesn't apply right now. Fog, and then a number of days later, it's supposed to snow. No, that's not going to happen for the summer.
You're always changing the rules.
Always.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Well, coming up, top golfers had a chance to shine on the South Dakota Golf Association's Junior Tour today. Plus, we check in with the Beltfouche Legion baseball team as they're delivering an impressive season. Vic Quick has all that and more next in KOTA Sports.
Happy dinner time, everybody. After turning in a strong high school season, local golfers are now getting a chance to shine on the South Dakota Golf Association's Junior Tour. And today, top players had a chance to show off their skills as they teed it up for a big round at Hart Ranch. And for the boys, Rapid City's Hayden Haig shot a 2 over 74 to earn medalist honors. Beltfouche's Isaac Voiles finished in second place, just one stroke back. Sturgis's Jackson Dodson fired a 76 to claim third place. Rapid City's Benjamin Gibson and Hill City's Leo Dice finished fourth and fifth. After helping the St. Thomas More girls golf team win state, Caitlin Strain kept things rolling by shooting a 74 to finish first for the ladies. Spearfish's Allison Kennedy took second, just one stroke off the pace. Rapid City's Liliana Vanderwist finished third. Porcupine's Jada Jacobs and Spearfish's Cadence Kilmer tied for fourth. After racking up a strong 11-8 record during the high school season, the Belle-Fourche Legion baseball team is focused on accomplishing some big things this summer. The Post 32, I should say, is a strong group of players who have gained valuable experience over the past couple of years. Randy Doran is in his 6th season as head coach of Post 32. Belle-Fourche currently checks in with a strong 7-3 record. Post 32 returns to the Diamond tomorrow when it plays the Upper Deck Expos at the Sturgis Baseball Rally. And Coach Doran likes the makeup of this year's squad.
Everybody trusting each other. Our pitchers are trusting our defense, so we're not trying to strike everybody out, pitching the contact. Up at the plate, we're trusting the guy after us once we get on base to have him help bring us around. And, it's just really kind of having that family atmosphere, that trust in each other. And I think that's been a huge factor in what we've been able to do so far this year. Now they've kind of really taken that next step in their development, and they've just been playing some good baseball. And, they're just a fun group. They're laid back. They know when to be serious. If they don't get the cue yet, I kind of, make sure that they got the prompt to know to take things a little more serious at times. But like I said, just a great bunch of kids.
The Sasquatch picked up a big win last night, rolling past the Oahe Zap 11-3, and it was quite a game for Sam Kwapnowski as he had a grand slam and finished the game with a total of 6 RBI on 3 hits. With the win, Spearfish moves above the 500 mark with an 8-7 record. The same two teams play tonight in Pierre before heading to Spearfish for another 3-game series this weekend. We're going to have another big night of racing out at the Black Hills Speedway tomorrow night. It is Pack the Stands night, which means free admission for all fans. The Speedway will be collecting donations for the Humane Society of the Black Hills. Fans are encouraged to bring dog or cat food as well as pet toys and kitty litter. Now, if you don't have any of that laying around the house, you can also donate cleaning supplies like paper towels, bleach, and rubber gloves. The racing action starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night out at the Black Hills Speedway. Legion Baseball this afternoon. Spearfish Legion team also playing Pierre, and Spearfish comes up in the short end of that one, falling by the score of 14-3. Post 22 Jack is playing at a tournament in Pueblo, Colorado. Hardhat's playing the Victus Recruits, and they lead 4-0 delayed in the 2nd inning.
All right, thank you very much, Vic. Well, local kids get an aviation adventure today. We'll go along when we come back on KOTA Territory News at 5:30. And count on brand new coverage tonight at 10. Beth Warden takes us to the home of a Rosebud woman who's stepping in to make life easier for those in need. Well, there's nothing like being able to witness and touch a vintage World War II plane for the first time, which is exactly what Youth and Family Services kids got to experience today. Our Brian Savage joined them on a tour of the Navy PB-4Y2 bomber out at the WestJet Air Center in Rapid City.
Thursday, kids from Youth and Family Services Girls Incorporated, a Rapid City and middle school program, got a taste of history.
It was a Navy airplane. They used them as patrol bombers. They were anti-ship and maritime patrol and anti-sub. They used them for electronic warfare.
The WestJet Air Center gave the kids a private tour of the World War II Navy PB-4Y2 bomber, giving them an opportunity to witness one of the last remaining PB-4Y2 bombers as an attempt to inspire them to go into aviation.
Aviation's a kind of a hidden niche job. Not a lot of people are aware of it or understand it.
Malachi says there's been a great demand in the aviation industry in the last decade and feels it didn't do a great job in marketing aviation careers in the past.
When you think of aviation, you probably think about the airlines, and there's really a lot of different jobs out there. There's a lot of different pathways. We need people to fly the freight. We need people to flight instruct. We need people to haul medical supplies.
It was a long line at one point, as many of the kids were eager to get an inside look of the plane.
There's the bombing area where they hook the bombs to this ladder type thingy, and then they just open it up, and then they drop the bombs.
Not only did the plane hunt enemy ships in the Pacific more than 80 years ago, but it was also used by the U.S. Coast Guard for search and rescue and hurricane hunting. In addition, this aircraft fought fires from the 60s until it retired in 2002.
It's a bit of a reality check as to what an 18-year-old coming out of high school and into World War II experienced. We had it easy. We fly it to air shows and other community outreach events.
Bijan says it's valuable to get the youth enthusiastic and exposed to aviation.
We had 50 kids run through the cockpit today, and I think at least a half dozen of them said they were super interested in learning to fly someday. And if we get even one of them, it was worth all the effort and expense.
In Rapid City, Brian Savage, KOTA Territory News.
Those old planes are very cool when they keep those things flying.
I know, and the fact that it was out in service until 2002, that's impressive.
Long life.
Long life.
All right, what's up with our storms?
All right, well, the storms, they're still technically out of KOTA territory, but we'll zoom into the one near Carter County, Montana. Places like Alzada along Highway 212 could be seeing this thunderstorm in the next hour or so. There is a severe thunderstorm for Broadus, Montana, so we are seeing that still right now, but those isolated storms still possible tonight. 50s for the lows.
All right, we'll keep our eye out for those.
Crossing the
All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. See you tonight at 10.
Thanks for watching KOTA Territory News, your local news and weather authority.